My name is Sajjad Khalfan. I am 28 years old. I was born and raised in East Africa, Kenya, and I moved to Canada 10 years back, so I'm from Toronto, Canada. I'm a business analyst at Home Depot, which is a US company. Karbala is a sacred land. We have heard lots of stories about Karbala and the tragedy that took place with Imam Hussein. But they say when in the day of judgment, Allah will raise the whole land of Karbala together in one piece. So it's a sacred land. And to experience this land is just amazing. The moment you walk into Karbala, it's different. It's different from other cities. I must say, even within Iraq, when I walk into Karbala, it's very different. Like there is this sense of sorrow, the sense of sadness in the air, in the atmosphere. And you see it in the people too, in the faces of the people. When you look at them, everyone is inspired somehow to do good, to help one another. And to experience this is amazing. Hopefully, when I go back, I can, take away these learnings that I learned in Karbala. It's difficult to justify or to qualify my opinion because I'm just a servant of Allah and I'm not the best obviously, but one quality that I have learned in Karbala is appreciation of life. If you look at the situation in Iraq, Alhamdulillah, we have been safe so far, but you have seen as a result, you see a lot of poor people. Not only that, but also visitors of Imam Hussein. You see people of all ages. You see the old people coming to visit Imam Hussein. You see people who are less fortunate than others. You see the kids coming here. You see people with broken limbs or no legs. It makes you appreciate life because before this, Alhamdulillah, we are well to do. We want to ask more, but inshallah, once I go back, I'll be satisfied with what I have because from what I've seen here, I'm very lucky, inshallah. So once I go back, it'll make me appreciate life more than I already did. I would not think so. I would say my supplications remain the same. At the end of the day, I seek the help of Imam Hussein and Abul Fadl al-Abbas to get closer to Allah. The end goal is the same. I'm seeking to do different people, but in the eyes of Allah, they are both great personalities. They are the chosen ones from Allah. So my supplication does not differ, and inshallah, both wherever I supplicate, inshallah, they are all accepted. You're right. It is possible to give your salams to the Imam from wherever you come from, but to come here and experience this is something else. It's just the fact that I knew what I was coming to. I knew that I would be coming to a place where there'll be Shias around me, everyone will be praying, and I look forward to that because it allows me to become closer to God. Back home we are so busy working, we are so busy in our lives. You don't get, and I shouldn't use that as an excuse, we don't get the time to get closer to Allah. And obviously Allah gives you the time, but we always look for excuses. Over here, when you see everyone doing the same thing, everyone is worshipping Allah, it's something else. It allows you to do the same, right? So I don't have an excuse, and therefore, Alhamdulillah, so far it allows you to say your prayers in time. It allows you to supplicate to Allah all the time, and it's a different experience. Like when you see everyone coming together as one union, as one community, it allows you to express your love for Imam Hussein and supplicate so that you can get closer to Allah in a better way. So this is my first visit to Karbala, so hopefully when I get back, I will be able to take away these learnings. But so far, there's a lot you can learn from here. Like I mentioned, it teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you to say your prayers on time, right? So that's something I would take away back. But also, in the social sense, the fact that when you go to the Haram, for example, you see everyone helping each other. Like I don't know these people, and nor do they know me, but they are so helpful towards me, especially in Karbala. Like everyone has that sorrow in their hearts. They just want to help. They just want to give away, right? So hopefully, when I get back to my country in Canada, I can do the same. I can help one another. I can help people I don't know, inshallah. I would definitely try to do so. I remember when I was leaving for my trip to Karbala, and I mentioned at work to non-Muslims and non-Shias that I'm going to Iraq. Unfortunately, the perception was all negative. Everyone was like making these negative comments about me, but I said I'm just going to say the truth. I'm just going to be who I am, and I'm just going to say that I am going to Iraq and to visit the shrines of Imam Hussein and the great personalities, right? So when I go back, I'll definitely encourage the non-Muslims or the non-Shias to visit this place, because you can read and you can hear all the stories all you want, but when you come here, it's a different situation, it's a different thing. You will automatically feel that love for Imam Hussein. It's hard to pick one moment or one situation, but to me, when I think about it, it's when Imam Hussein asked the enemies for some time for Salah. In that situation, with all those arrows flying across, right, the battlefield, he still wanted to get closer to Allah. And he was Imam Hussein. What had he not done enough? Look at us, like we are nothing to compare to Imam Hussein. But even at that time, when arrows were flying towards him, he still asked the enemies to give him some time for prayers. And to me, that's like one of the biggest things I can learn from the tragedy of Karbala. The fact that you should always find time for prayers, whatever the situation be, whether you're drowning or whether you're enjoying your life outside, you should always stop everything and give your prayers, because Imam Hussein did it. And obviously Imam Hussein was brought into this world to show us the right path, or to teach us the right path. And so if there's one lesson or there's one thing that really touches me, it's the importance of prayers, and that was shown by Imam Hussein. The message I would like to convey to the entire world is the fact that Iraq is really safe. We hear everything, we hear all the negative things in the media about Iraq and how dangerous it is, and even when I was leaving, like I said, everyone had something negative to say about Iraq, but it's really safe. There's a lot of checkpoints, and even though at times it can be frustrating, but if you think about it, it's for our own good, right? The more they check, the safer we are. So really, Iraq is safe, and Karbala is even safer. And like mentioned before in the show, if you can die anytime, you never know when is your last breath, right? But what better place to die than in the land of Karbala? So I would welcome all to Karbala, and Imam Hussein welcomes you all.
Walaikum assalam. My name is Mahdi Wadoodi. I am born and raised in Canada, Toronto, Ontario. I am 15 years old, and I am currently in high school in Toronto. To me, Karbala is a place of great sacrifice, and it's a place of spiritual upliftment, and I believe it's important for all Shias to go at least once. My aim visiting Imam Hussein is to become a better Shia and to properly serve him and to become in tone with my spirituality, and as a form of spiritual upliftment, I think it's good that I'm here, and which is one of the main reasons why I am visiting. I don't think there's many specific qualities that a visitor of Imam Hussein should have. Any person who wants to better themselves, any Shia who wants to better themselves, is qualified enough to come here. I believe they remain the same. I don't really have favorites between them, and in both places it makes you feel good, and both prayers are equal. Not particularly, because I don't believe they would find it of interest per se, spiritual wise, but I feel that they should come to feel the energy of everyone around and see how us Shias glorify and find it important to be here. I think being a good Shia and having people know what I'm doing and being a good role model for other people, and people knowing the love that I have for Imam Hussein and his family, is a good way to spread awareness of the goodness that is here. Doing it long distance and being here is very different. It's like calling someone on the phone or talking to them in person. It's the energy itself coming here is much different. It's extraordinary. It's just like a whole new experience for you to have when you come. It puts everything that you have, everything you know about Imam Hussein, all the sacrifices that happened the day of Ashura, it puts everything into context when you're actually here visiting everything and you see everything happening in real time. I don't think any specific thing that happened, any event that happened particularly gets to me the most. I feel all the events that happened fit together like a piece of a puzzle, and together they make the picture that we see. The last message I think I would like to deliver is that coming here is a good sacrifice that you should do, and it's a good way to spiritually uplift yourself. And there's nothing that you should do, that's nothing that should stop you from coming here. It's a thing that I believe should be obligatory on Shias.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Quibla Wadoodi. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, and I'm currently in my last year of high school at an Islamic school in Bolton, Ontario, entitled Wali al-Asr.
Thank you very much. Is it your first visit to Karbala?
No, alhamdulillah, this is my second visit.
So how was your feeling on the first visit?
The first visit was very life-changing for me, I believe. It helped my understanding for a lot of things, and it put my life into perspective, especially comparing it to living back home and how people live here. And ever since I had come back home, I've wanted to return again. Alhamdulillah, I've had the invitation from the Imam to come, but I'm here so that I can spiritually help myself and refocus myself to my priorities, and to help keep me on track with what I want to focus on. The land of Karbala is a land of love and sacrifice. So with every step that I take going around, if I'm going to the haram, if I'm going to the hotel, anywhere, we need to remember that to keep love in our hearts and in our mind when we're focusing and dealing with other people. And we need to remember that everything is a sacrifice. So we need to remind ourselves not to excessively overindulge, not to do anything too much, to understand the reason that we're here. Because if we're here and everything is easy for us and there's no struggle, then we aren't being blessed, because Allah blesses us by giving us struggles in our life so that we are reminded of His greatness. Something that's very important, I think, to spread their culture, which I hope to remind myself of, is to surround ourselves with their character. Because no matter if you speak to someone and you tell them directly about their stories and they don't care, it won't necessarily have an impact on them. But if you are a very kind, giving person with a lot of intelligence, then they will wonder, why is this person so intelligent? Why are they so educated? Why are they so kind? And then you can say that I learned from these people, or these people are my role models. It will perhaps inspire them to look forward into something like that, indirectly. Well, it's a matter of being direct and indirect. You can say your salam from the Imam thousands of miles away, or you can stand right beside him and say it. But also, there's a lot of benefits that come from being in the land, not even just being in the haram, but learning the humility and the simpleness of the lifestyle people have, or learning, even being with people from other cultures and making new friends. The entire process of making a journey and making a plan and having organization to do something and having a purpose is the entire thing that the Imam did when he came to this land. So we need to not just take the simple way out for everything. I think if they have interest, I think it may be a good idea, because even I think we can respect things from other religions when we go and we visit and see their holy places. We have a certain amount of respect for them that we didn't necessarily see before. they may not convert or change the way that they believe something, but they might perhaps see that Muslims are not terrible people if they think something like that. So it's obviously a good experience for anyone who has the interest of coming, so I would encourage anyone to come. Media is very important because it's the largest outlet of how people gather information right now. So it's very important for them to see things that are showing their message in a positive way. So if they see things that are very striking or extreme, that they don't understand perhaps the same way that we will understand it, it will turn them away from the message that we hold so very dear to us. So it's important that we share things that are not only important, but things that are understandable to other people so that they can learn from it as well. I started to, honestly, but I kind of got sidetracked from being tired and a lot of things going on. But in retrospect, I wish I had written a bit more down, because when I'm at home and I don't remember things as well, it would have been helpful for me. But honestly, right now I don't have them.
Alhamdulillah. The question before the last, which part of the tragedy of Karbala moves you the most?
They're all very important in their own place, but out of all of them, I think the one that is closest to my heart, even as an individual, is Hazrat Abbas. I think also because that he wasn't infallible in the way that he was destined to be, like in that way, but it's because of his actions and the way that he was raised. So I find that inspirational to me, because even though he wasn't an appointed Imam, he had the same akhlaq and the disposition that they did, and he spent his entire life in servitude and in humility. So that's something that I reference myself to a lot of the time. And when you see the way that he sacrificed himself from the when he was born to when he died, it was all in service to the Imam. So if we are in service to the Imam, that's the way that we should try to emulate. Something that one of my teachers had recently taught me that I think is a very good exercise is to make excuses for others and don't make excuses for yourself. Because we are questioned on the actions that we did, and we aren't questioned on the actions of other people. So even if someone else is doing something that is distracting or something that you may view as bad or inappropriate, you can make an excuse for them and say maybe they didn't know, maybe they didn't understand, because it keeps your heart in a way that you don't have grudges against other people. When we are angry with other people and we are judging them, we're only making it bad for ourselves. So it's better to keep them in a good light and to keep yourself in a darker light so you try to become better.